Not too many holding go. Call it butter love. What's good? What's good? What's good? Ohio Cannabis Report family. It's your boy Gerald Moore Jr. Back to you guys with another live episode. I'm trying to keep up with all the stuff going on. Obviously, it's a lot happening in the world, in the United States of America, with our government, with local government, state and local government. So, again, thank you guys for all your support. Again, just a disclaimer: I am not a lawyer. I'm not a doctor. I am simply a citizen sharing as much news and information about Ohio cannabis as I can to you guys, making sure the community is informed because this is important, right? The state has sold over $3 billion worth of cannabis. So this channel is for news, entertainment, and information purposes only. If you need help with cannabis recommendation, you can go to a cannabis doctor. If you're looking for legal counsel, please contact a lawyer. We did get some information that there is a committee hearing tomorrow about cannabis in the state of Ohio. Again, they're trying to change the initial issue 2 when it comes to cannabis legalization and hemp. So I will go over that information as well. But I do want to share Columbus City Council President Shannon Hardin had a message that he distributed via his Instagram and City Council's Instagram. So I do want to share that so people can understand. Now, I'm in Columbus, and I typically share my vantage point from Columbus. Ohio is a big state. Obviously, we got the 3 C's. So you got Columbus, Cleveland, Cincinnati. And then obviously your smaller cities and suburbs off of those main cities. And so I do hyper focus on Columbus and the Columbus regional area because that's where I live. And it's tough to get around the entire state. So if you come from a different part of the state, if you're in Cleveland, Cincinnati, Akron, Dayton, Springfield, I know there's a lot of different places, Zanesville, Athens. We love to have different perspectives from people all over the state, so we can get a balanced idea of what's going on in your state or what's going on in your city. Again, I live in Columbus, so we have ample amount of access to cannabis. We have, I believe, 17 dispensaries, and then obviously it's the state capital. So, you got people driving all the way through Columbus. You got home grow. And so, again, I don't know what's going on in some of the smaller places, right? I've worked in Springfield doing my nonprofit work. I got family in Zanesville. I got family in Cleveland. But again, Ohio's kind of cut off. So it's hard to keep track of what's going on every place in the state. Again, it's 11.8 million people in the state of Ohio, which is a lot of people. We had 2.7 million people vote to legalize cannabis. And so I kind of focus on those people, and then everybody else, we just have to kind of catch up to speed and educate them on cannabis, legalization and what we should be doing, right? So we need more cannabis forward politicians. We need to educate the politicians running for governor. We need to educate state and local officials, police officers, doctors, nurses. Everybody needs to have a little bit more education around the cannabis plant and people that consume cannabis, and then the ailments and illnesses. So again, if you are somebody that consumes cannabis, find small groups, find ways to educate people around why you consume cannabis, how cannabis helps you, or how cannabis helps others. And then we also should be talking about the industrial sides of cannabis, right? The hemp plant outside of just consuming it for medicinal or recreational purposes, but the industrial purposes, right? So hempcrete, innovative ways to build housing, more sustainable ways to produce different textiles, ways to be more sustainable and cleaning the earth, remediating soils and things like that. So cannabis is a very dynamic crop, but if you don't educate folks, obviously we've been in the dark for the last 60 years to 100 years. So if you're a cannabis enthusiast, a cannabis educator, you are on the front lines and you are needed in this conversation. So don't feel like your story is too small. Don't feel like, I'm not a cannabis grower. Honestly, I consume, I have a degree in healthcare. So I understand the mesh of sports, cannabis, entertainment, lifestyle, culture, and cannabis as a medicinal, therapeutic value, and then also the business side of healthcare. And so I kind of come at things from that perspective, with how I analyze or share my worldview. But again, it's important that everybody has their voices heard in this conversation. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen with y'all real quick. All right, so yeah, here we go. We got Shannon Hardin, who is City Council President of Columbus, Ohio. He had a message.
Shannon Hardin. So let's talk weed or marijuana, or as your grandparents used to call it, reefer. And no, don't get scared to have this conversation because as a state, we already did. We voted 2 years ago to pass issue 2, which overwhelmingly the state, and certainly here in Central Ohio, voted to legalize marijuana, but it did not just do that. It created a 10% sales tax that said that those dollars would go to local governments to serve social services, to make sure that folks with addiction had support. But it's been 2 years and we still haven't seen a dime of those dollars. And despite opening up dispensaries all throughout the state of Ohio, including 17 right here in Columbus, we were supposed to get around $8 million. And remember, that was to support social services, work with people with addictions. And right now, that money's being held up at the State House, where they're trying to figure out how much of our money they want to keep for themselves. We budgeted for those dollars. Last year, my council voted to create a special revenue fund to put those dollars there. And since those dollars never came in, we've had to shift money around just to fill those gaps. It doesn't have to be this way, especially when we have the resources. They're just stuck at the State House. We have so many pressing needs, specifically for what these dollars were meant to do, which was take care of people. And get this, just this year, marijuana sales have brought in more than $800 million in the state of Ohio. That'd be like $30 million to host cities. And we can't wait forever, especially because of the cuts of the federal government for social services. We need that money now more than ever. That's why we drafted this invoice. So we're here at the State House, and I urge you to call your representatives and tell them to send us our money so that we can take care of people in Central Ohio. What's up, Columbus? The City Council President.
All right, so, finally, I've been waiting for City Council, for one of these politicians to say something, right? Like, we've had legalization for 6 years, adult use, right? Or not adult, scratch that. We've had medical for 6 years. We had adult use for a year now. And so that's where that tax money is coming from, the adult use. I think the tax money should be coming from the entire program, right? We've sold over $3 billion in cannabis. And where is that money going? It's not going to education. It's not going back into communities. It's not going back into social equity programs to help communities that have been disproportionately impacted by cannabis prohibition over the last 60 years, plus years, right? You look at a city like Columbus, Franklin County, which is the largest county in the state of Ohio, which the largest Black population, Black African-American population, Black prison population, mainly dealing with drugs, non-violent, low-violent criminal activity, right? Somebody could get locked up or put into the prison system or jail system for smelling like weed, right? Like having a roach, having a joint, having a couple baggies, having a couple dime bags. It has been decriminalized. But again, you can't just move throughout the state, throughout the country if you got all this shit on your record, right? And it's tough to get jobs, housing, loans, credit, go to school. Like there's just so many different hurdles. And a lot of this money needs to be going back into our communities, into our most vulnerable populations. And our politicians should be speaking up way more than they are. You know what I mean? It's very much so like, oh, we're gonna give them an invoice and like, bitch, no, nigga, that's it's sitting. The money just sitting there. You got $8 million that's supposed to go to the city of Columbus just sitting there. You know, when you got kids starving, families starving, folks can't pay for daycare. We don't even have enough daycare. Folks can't pay for housing. Not enough affordable housing. And like I feel like everybody just so, oh my god, like no, bitch, you see how this nigga Trump move? Like he don't care. So you should be that vigilant if you really care about people, right? Like me as a man, like you can tell Trump ain't never been in no fist fight. He ain't never been in no altercation physically. He ain't never been in a scrum. You know what I mean? But are you willing to go to war for the most vulnerable people? And I feel like a lot of these politicians, they're more so worried about that corporate, political correctness. Because again, I've been in the spaces of corporate political correctness as an athlete, and you have to just be in these systems uh, and operate in a certain type of way. And unfortunately, for the most vulnerable, those ways aren't necessarily conducive to real time uh, um, results, right? Like a lot of people living in the margins don't have fucking time. You know what I mean? Like everything is pressing. Like when I was growing up, everything was fucking pressing. Like, why are we rushing for everything? Why does everything have to be such a, but oh shit, we poor. Like, sitting down, you lazy. Thinking, you're lazy. You know what I mean? Like you being physically active and not making really no money, but you on the street, on the corner, hustling and bustling, and you dead at 15, 18, 20, 25. And so, man, our lifestyle, our lifespans aren't conducive to being able to wait. And as a community, we have to wake up. And I've been trying with, I haven't been as vocal publicly over COVID because over the last 4 years, because of my family situation and just, protecting the privacy of my family. But as we have healed and as we continue to mourn the loss of our son, but also, grow and realize that there's always purpose behind anything that we go through. And cannabis has been one of those things that has allowed me to navigate this space, right? But also, it's like, how many other people are navigating so much? Um, and, the cost of living continues to increase. You look at access to quality jobs, quality health care, the environmental impacts of just construction and everything that goes on in inner and urban communities that again lack the resources, lack the basic infrastructure needs to support where we are presently, right? Um, and it's not lost on me, you know what I mean? And it gets tough because like I come from a vantage point of like I've just been able to kind of view things from a different perspective, being a stay-at-home parent. But I just feel like our politicians, like everybody, oh my God, it's weed, it's marijuana, it's Mary J. Oh, we don't like, oh, it's too loud. Oh, what about the kids? And it's like the water got lead in it. The air, we got fucking chemtrails. You got trucks with exhaust systems spewing all types of diesel fuel in the baby face. But it's the weed. You're marketing and advertising violence perpetually through whether it's the military, whether it's sports and football, sports betting, right? Corporate competition, like everything becomes a very violent and competitive thing naturally. Oh, why is it so violent in inner city? Well, the suburbs is violent as fuck too. They will just sue your ass. You know what I mean? And I think people really just gotta understand, man, like as a combat athlete, right? And like you literally got motherfuckers trying to take your head off, right? And I was recruited to go to the military and I said, fuck no. Fuck no. I went to a military school, you know what I mean, high school. Um, and so it's like, no, especially as a black man, what? Go fight for this country? What? and do it like I studied history. Like history is one of my favorite subjects. Like, no, we've been fucking shit up. This is my high school. I'll show y'all my high school. Show y'all how elitist my high school. My high school has a magazine. Like this is my high school's magazine that I get quarterly. This was the president at my high school when I was there. Like my high school is like $22,000 a year now. When I was there, it was like $16,000. So this will show you like you could do JROTC at my high school. You know what I mean? Like that shit was legit military. Like I didn't participate in the military part. I was there for athletics. But like legit, like this is. And so when you like, I'm from the hood though. So like you go from the hood to elite private school and they go, what? Shirt and tie. Whole time your family's still over here and you shirt and tie going to school with kids whose parents are paying $16,000 a year for their education. And your whole world view changes. Like, what? The amount of help and support that you get when you go to private school, when you're an elite athlete, when you're a Division I athlete, what? The amount of like just extra help just because you are destined to go and be a next level athlete is crazy. And then you go into the world as a society and be like, I'm very grounded. So like, I don't really move like, oh yeah, I'm this, I'm that. Like, nah, I be chilling because I don't really like all the attention and shit. But when you see how people try to treat you and they don't really understand like the level of awareness, emotional intelligence, education that you have. Like I've been around some of the most elite white people in the world. Kevin Plank, the CEO of Under Armour, graduated from my high school. My freshman year, sophomore year high school, we were all Under Armour, met The Rock. You know what I mean? They literally brought The Rock, Kevin Plank to my school. Like we were one of the first brands in schools to rock Under Armour cleats from head to toe. You know what I mean? My Under Armour uniforms in high school were better than my college uniforms. Like literally, this was my college uniform. Like it was Russell. So again, like this shit, the game is, and once you start to get to the different levels, like it's only so high. Like that's why we don't need no billionaires. Because once you get to $1 billion, like you do whatever the fuck you want, right? Your credit is A1, so you can basically afford to buy whatever the fuck you want to buy on credit. And people are buying humans, right? Like think about it. Like people, oh, I'll work for 50,000. I'll work for 20,000. I'll work for $30 an hour. I'll work for 100,000 a year. You are on somebody's labor costs. Like, so what is that? What was slavery, right? Now you just getting a little check, and now everybody's like, oh well, I'm burnt out. You're working me harder. I'm doing more work than is on the job description because I want to get a promotion, and so and so asked me for help. Bitch, no, that's not your job. Like, do your job and leave. All of this, oh, going socializing after work, buddy, we family. No, the fuck you not. You are here to do a job. They hired you to do a job. The job description, nothing more. And that's where a lot of people get fucked up. Because every job that I work, I'm doing what y'all done hired me to do, and I ain't going above and beyond. Because y'all not about to pay me above and beyond. Because even if you're under commission, they're going to be like, no, nigga, I want 100% of my commission. So, I mean, a lot of people have to wake up, right? And I'm always been like rogue, right? I'm a former football player. Football players are rogue. But most football players aren't highly, I would say, educated, right? In terms of coming from well-off backgrounds that are exposed to a lot of different varieties of life. So a lot of dudes, like we see our NFL players and our NBA players, and they make it and they live this glamorous lifestyle, and then when they're done, they fall. And people are like, how the fuck do you make all this money and fall? Because nigga, you from poverty, right? Wealthy people come from wealth. So when you start to make money, you don't sit out here and be living a lifestyle like that. Like, you preserve your money, right? You're not going to go buy a bunch of chains. You're not going to go buy a bunch of nice Louis Vuitton, Gucci, the boots, every sneaker that you ever wanted. You're going to buy the car outright. You done bought your mom's house, your dad's car outright. You paying cash for everything, swiping the card for everything. Retiring your mom, your dad, your brother, you got everybody on your card, not even on payroll. So you ain't build no true businesses. And now you get hurt, tear your ACL, get cut, league dry up, league money start to dry up. All them loans, you owe money now. Now it's coming to these to the gambling, and people are like, why are they doing this? Because again, you are a high paid employee when you were in the NFL, NBA. You was getting a check every week. You know what I mean? Every game, right? For 16 games, however many games you play, 200,000, 100,000. You know what I mean? 150,000, 200,000. Then all of a sudden, you don't get them checks no more. Where your money coming from, right? But when you come from money, if your dad is an entrepreneur, business owner, grandma, grandpa, entrepreneur, business owner, they got estates, they got trusts, they have land, they have, opportunities. You grew up in the suburbs, so there's, venture capital firms, there's law firms, real estate firms, construction firms. You got all these things. So now you could parlay your money. You can invest some money over here. You can become a partner in this business over here. You can become a silent partner over there. Now your money is working way more for you. When you come from the hood, you don't come from that. So now you're giving your money to a money manager that's giving his money to somebody to do work with that you don't know. But you're not from that world. You weren't entrenched in that world from birth. That shit starts at birth. These business connections and relationships. Oh, you went to this school, that school, this school. Oh, yeah, your dad was who? Your granddad was what? We got you off name alone. Oh, you want to be a part of this deal? You don't even have to do nothing. We just want you to be a part of the deal because we like the value that your name, image, and likeness brings to the deal. We'll cut you in on a 10% check, 30% check. You know what I mean? And that we have to start to learn that, but it also comes with practice. It also comes with support. It also comes with building your own platforms, right? Like, I started Ohio Cannabis Report as an independent platform by myself. Like, I don't have no money coming in from Ohio Cannabis Report. You know what I mean? Like, there's really no money going into it. You know what I mean? Outside of electricity, Wi-Fi, internet, my time, and shit like that. But other than that, like, I don't have no ads, like dollars coming in. I mean, I've been working with App Girls Cannabis, and that's about it. And App Girls just gave me, a boatload of product, you know what I mean, to showcase and support, and I appreciate it. But other than that, like, going to the state house, following all the fucking policy, connecting with different people in the cannabis community, trying to help people out that is dealing with real shit, real health issues, on top of my own health issues, on top of my own family's health issues, but then building an independent media platform around cannabis and culture and community that, again, people will complain about the product or the services, or, you know what I mean? I testified at the state house the day after me and my wife lost our son, and people were like, oh my God, why would you show up like that? Bitch, I just lost a son. You know what I mean? And the fact that I got a call to go to the state house to talk about cannabis, it was like, one, I wanted to show up as raw as possible because that's how fucked up the situation is, period. You know what I mean? And I wanted to be, and I didn't know it was going to be a big ass press conference, honestly, because I wasn't really told of what was going on. But then, I testified last year. But it's like, yo, like, there's so much ruthless shit going on at the state house that everybody can go talk to these people. You can call the state representatives. You can go to the state house. You know what I mean? Like, everybody that lives in the state. But then you got people, oh, I'm scared. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't have the money. I don't have. It's like excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. The pandemic should have ended all of that shit. Like, that was the warning right there. Like, this shit is not the same. It ain't never been the same for a lot of people. But the pandemic, we could just shut shit down like that. and make you people take a shot if you like take your job. Okay, then Trump. Okay, all right. Like people still sleep. It's like wake the fuck up. Like the money is at the state house, right? The states have the money, right? Like we're gonna give. All right. So think about this. We're gonna give tax abatements, grants, and loans, low interest grants and loans to billionaires to build data centers. That's going to use the water. That's going to disrupt the environment. And then we're going to say, oh, it's jobs. Not realizing that most of those jobs are contracted out to people coming from outside the state because we don't have the talent to, a lot of the construction workers, talent to build those places. So then they build those places, and a data center only needs 10 people to operate it. So now you're giving this already billionaires more money. And it's like you're fucking your most vulnerable people. You know what I mean? People don't have health care. People don't have quality education. People don't have quality access to parks, to green spaces, to health, or to food. You know what I mean? In our rural and urban communities, right? Oh, SNAP benefits. And it's like, yo, just the average person is struggling. You know what I mean? And they might be working a full-time job. They might be working 2 jobs, 3 jobs. You know what I mean? So that's why cannabis is important. That's why us ensuring that we keep the politicians accountable is important. Uh, and we support independent media. I'm not the only one doing this. You have Anthony, who runs Ohio Cannabis Live. So y'all make sure y'all go subscribe. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to Ohio Cannabis Report, but also support Anthony. Anthony's been on the ground since the inception of the medical program. He's traveled all over the state in spite of him having a disability. And so he's traveled all over the state doing reviews of cannabis strains, of dispensaries, cultivators. He's also hosting events. So he does the Ohio Cannabis Expo, which will be here in Columbus. I think Hilliard is where the location is this year. So y'all make sure y'all check that out. Support him. I know he's looking for vendors and probably panelists and speakers to be a part of that event. And there's a lot of other people who have definitely stepped up and started to be more advocacy oriented publicly, leveraging the social media platforms. Because again, in a state like Ohio, where everything is kind of spread out, like, yeah, you could go talk to people on the ground, like locally, but it's so spread out. You know what I mean? Like I can't reach I'm not coming up to Cleveland. I'm not going to Cincinnati I really don't like that shit. You know what I mean? Like if it was a train, yeah, I'd do that shit. But I spent a lot of time in Springfield, in the Dayton area the last 4 or 5 years, 6 years really. And I'm still recovering from that shit. Like that shit was hella depressing. And then obviously Trump, shined a light on the Haitian issue. And it honestly, it broke my spirit, man. It broke my heart in a real way because there's only so much you could do with ignorance. You know what I mean? And when so many people are living so fucked up, but you still have this ignorant perception and mindset that like, yo, fuck these people. These people are making it harder for us when in reality, y'all not doing the work. You know what I mean? Or adding value. But these people just simply want to work and make a better life for themselves, which that's what I thought we all wanted to do. But when it comes to the race, when it comes to the prejudices, the microaggressions, when it comes to, people acting like, just because you a certain complexion, like I done been in places, you know what I mean? Like my parents worked for the federal government most of my life, you know what I mean? In Washington, D.C. My mom's a lawyer. My dad's a computer engineer, you know what I mean? So for me, I grew up around some real shit where like I'm around people like, you're not gonna stop me from getting my chicken ever. You know what I mean? Like I'm passported up. Like I got licenses, I got businesses, I got nonprofits. You can't, I'm unhireable at this point. That's why I talk so much shit because nobody's gonna hire me anyway. You know what I mean? And I low key like it that way because I get to say whatever the fuck I want to say. But again, it's important that we all create our own platforms and leverage our platforms to shed light on what's going on. You know what I mean? Especially in spaces like cannabis, healthcare, education, economic development, urban and rural development. Um, because the money is there. You can't say, well, we live in the wealthiest country in the world and I can go to the suburbs and see, 300 to $500,000 homes to two, three, $4, $5 million homes to where the roads are nice. They have access to parks. They have brand new public schools that are $200 million with sporting facilities, weight rooms in comparison to college weight rooms. But then you go 10 minutes the other direction and those schools are crumbling. The teachers are struggling to afford to live and work in those communities because obviously you got to deal with the other social economic issues of trauma, mental health with less. And so I think it's very unfortunate, but and unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to, talk about it as aggressively because it's sensitive. But I believe everything is sensitive, especially when it comes to our most vulnerable. So, when it comes to our babies, our children, the mothers, our elderly, um, I think it's important. And able-bodied people, especially able-bodied men, uh, should step the fuck up or move the fuck out the way, right? If you're challenged by women being in leadership roles or women making more money than you, or women having full body autonomy to stop you from touching on them, that's on you, player. You know what I mean? Like, if you got a daughter or a sister or a mother and you wouldn't want nobody touching up on them, the fact that y'all would allow or condone or say, well, this is how it used to be or how it was and think that's okay, it's not, without getting punched in your fucking mouth. And that's what really needs to happen. And a lot of these dudes just haven't gotten fucking punched in the mouth. They've been able to get away with whatever the fuck. Like the little boy, that 18-year-old that was raping the girls that they said just got off on some wild shit. Like, that's what they allow to happen. And then he cut it like, what? Like, that's not gonna continue? So I mean, it break my heart, but again, I'm just a black man, so they want to put their hands on me too. You know what I mean? But again, like, I fuck people up. You know what I mean? That's why I stay out the way too, because it's just it ain't safe. But y'all be safe out there. Again, I don't know. Let me look it up. I think they do have a committee hearing tomorrow at the Ohio State House. So I'm gonna look that up real quick. I think it's the House. Is the House or the Senate? Today, public utilities committees. Committee schedules. It's tomorrow too. Tuesday, general government. All right, so we got Wednesday, November 19th. Let me go ahead and share this with the YouTube community. I'm sorry I went on my little tangent too, but it's real out this motherfucker. Like, people just be acting like they could just disassociate from the realities of the world and shit. Like, I get it, get your money, do what you gotta do, you know what I mean? But weed, like, I smoke weed to be connected, you know what I mean? Like, to not fucking really crash out. You know what I mean? That's why I consume. But it don't make me like oblivious to what the fuck is actually going on out here. You know what I mean? And having the fucking gall to fucking speak up about it. All right, so here we got Wednesday, November 19th, Conference Committee on SB 56, 8:30 a.m. in the North Hearing Room. The chair is Huffman. FB 56, first hearing, no testimony. Revised medical use marijuana laws, levy marijuana taxes. So again, that's tomorrow, or not tomorrow, my bad. Wednesday, November 19th, in the North Hearing Room at 8:30 a.m. So I will not be there, but I can probably stream it. If I don't stream it live, I'll make sure I stream it at some point on Wednesday or Thursday so people can see what's going on. But again, these politicians are gonna keep dragging this because they don't want they don't want that money to go to the communities that it's supposed to go to. They want to keep the money, right? Like they're seeing how lucrative the cannabis industry is, right? The cannabis industry has brought in $3 billion, and they haven't even fully opened the industry. They haven't like we still don't have tier 3. We still don't have delivery. We still don't have craft grow. We still don't have education programs. They're still not disseminating all the information. They're still not marketing and advertising. The industry been open for 6 years now. You know what I mean? We've had legal adult use, recreational use for a year now. You still got a bulk of people still going to Michigan to purchase product because it's better, cheaper. You know what I mean? More accessible. So I think it's important that the average person, man, like really starts to speak up. I think people get scared of the government. You know what I mean? Like the government is supposed to work for you, right? You pay your taxes, you do what you're supposed to do, you become a law-abiding citizen. But then you realize, oh, the politicians are corrupt. The politicians are taking backdoor payments. The politicians are having backdoor meetings. And now they're doing this shit on the record. And they've been doing it on the record. But again, people aren't paying attention. People aren't holding their state representatives, their senators, their governors accountable. And these people have to be held accountable to you. It's not everybody's like, oh, well, we'll just vote them out. Like, no, that money needs to be distributed yesterday. Not let's wait for it's time to be election time when we live in a gerrymandered state. When you live in a red line state, when you live in a red state, oh, let's wait for them. Let's wait for them to continue to rig the game in their favor perpetually without holding them accountable publicly and in time, in real time. You know what I mean? Well, this is how it's always been in Ohio. It's always been this way. So the fuck? That's that shit. When people say that shit to me, because I'm not from Ohio, I don't get. Who gives a fuck if this is how it's always been? It don't have to stay this way. You are choosing, making choices, willful ignorance. Going to church every Sunday, praying to God that more food is going to come on your table and be cheaper. Your utility bills is going to be cheaper, but your politicians is doing backdoor deals with the energy company to make you more, to charge you more money when they are having record profits. It's diabolical to me. Oh, well, bitch, what? In what world? And then, like, as an entrepreneur, business person, it's like, well, shit. They be like, well, if nobody gonna stop us, we gonna keep going. Like, that's all Trump doing right now. Trump say, I'm gonna go as far as possible. Am I right? Am I right? They ain't stopped him yet. Oh, we gonna release the Epstein files, but first, let me scrub everything. Anything that got to do with me and my few homies, redacted. And then we spend it, I mean, get a girls they shit. Well, we're spending entirely too much time on this shit. We know they pedophiles. We know. Fuck you mean? Like, we've been seeing it repeatedly forever. These old motherfuckers is dirty, bro. Like, throw the motherfuckers out. Like, the fact that we just be saying, like, I'm a millennial, so I'm like, this shit is stupid. I'm old enough to know that I done seen all this shit from the 89, from what, Bill Clinton, fucking Bush, 9/11 and all that shit. What? And they just be, oh, well, they just got a lot of money. And you can't, and motherfuckers is working. The craziest thing though, people work for them. Like, they do all this wild shit. And they have people on payroll working for them. That's like, yo, it's just a career to them. So it's like, this is what you got to deal with. Now I understand the power in that, and that's why like I just low key just like to do my own shit, because it's like you dangle a career, right? All the what big movie executives that got tied up, right? So you dangle a movie career, a modeling career, an entertainment career, a music career, a career opportunity in politics, business, to a young 17, 18 to 23-year-old as an older gentleman with money, credit cards, like all types of shit. And then you done inherited shit from your family. I remember seeing girls in high school that was dating dudes in college, and I'm like, what? And then they'd be on you like, nah, these niggas got money and shit. You be like, damn, like, yeah, you're a grown ass man. The fuck? The fuck? But seeing it in real time and being a dude, like, and I'm an athlete, so like I done been in a lot of spaces and shit. But like any party I ever went to, no, I don't stay. Like I'm already like, the internet shit is cool for me because like I already don't like being in big crowds. I don't like being around a lot of people. Like people be stank, people be like, I'm a people watcher anyway, so I'm just gonna observe the room anyway and see where I could duck off to, as long as I got my tree. And I don't do sloppiness, so people be hella sloppy. You know what I mean? I went to a party school too, so I already partied my shit out, right? Like I was in the club early 18, 19, 20s. So I did that whole life, right? So being out is just like, one, it's annoying because everybody just trying to be seen. Everybody trying to be on social media and trying to get their lifestyle. And I'm just like, I'm not here for it. Because there's a lot of real shit going on and y'all lifestyles be terrible. But there's real shit going on. And it's like, this is the real game, right? The political game. Now everybody want to break into media. I understood media way back when sports, and while I was playing, though, we weren't allowed to be on social media like that. When I was in college ball, like our coach, no social media, no Facebook, no Instagram. We ain't do pictures, videos like that. He used to be fucking skimp on the fucking hype videos. Like, nigga, ease up, nigga. Like, if you want to recruit some dogs, bro, we gotta be on the internet, right? So he was always just old school with it, right? Which was cool. We won a lot of games at work, but people gotta understand, like, the media is powerful. You know what I mean? Media is so powerful, and being able to share your own side of the story, your own narrative, your own perspective, being able to have more nuanced discussions, being able to invite guests on and have conversations with people that wouldn't typically be asked to come on to a major news network. Again, I'm married to a news anchor, so I understand the journalistic side of things. I am not a journalist. I am simply a human being talking shit. You know what I mean? And following some of the things that I care about, and just trying to, build something that I could, be proud of. But we got to use the platforms, you know what I mean? And the information is on these platforms, and to be able to share some of these platforms and information to other people, I think is important. So I thank everybody for subscribing to the channel so far. I think we have like 140 subs so far on our this is a new YouTube channel too, on for the YouTube. Let me see. I got a bunch of YouTube channels too. So, but yeah, this one's finally growing, and I've been being more consistent on it. But I appreciate everybody liking, commenting, subscribing, commenting on the information. Again, there's a committee hearing meeting on Wednesday at 8:30 in the North hearing room at the Ohio State House on SB 56. So that basically is another attempt to change issue 2, which is the adult use program that we currently have in the state of Ohio, where again, we have home grow up to 12 plants. All the law is still the same, by the way. A lot of people get confused. The law is the law is the law is the law. They're trying to change the law. They're trying to amend the law. They don't want the freedoms that we currently have, right? They don't want people to grow 12 plants, right? They want more like six. They don't want uh, social equity dollars to go to poor communities, underfunded communities, black and brown communities, right? They don't want millions of dollars to go to those communities. They don't want they want to keep, control of this industry, essentially, right, to a few wealthy folks. And so that's why it's important that we one pay attention to what's going on, and not just cannabis. I focus on cannabis because I feel like cannabis really sits at the intersection of a lot of our social issues, especially in my community. I mean, obviously, I know there are other issues, but um, from my vantage point and perspective, a lot of our issues in my community could be handled within our community, but our community has constantly been disrupted in a lot of different ways, right? And so the war on drugs was a direct target at Black, brown, urban, inner city communities. Um, and the federal government spent billions of dollars to militarize cities to crack down on drugs, right? And then we know the bulk of those drugs was weed, right? You got other, drugs mixed in there, but the bulk of people were smoking weed. You have the whole jazz scene where they took over the jazz scene and said, well, jazz musicians and weed and white women. And, again, it was an economy. It was creating, opportunities. It was putting food on the table, roofs over the head, clothes on the back, providing, access to more opportunities for communities coming out of the civil rights movement, right? So people have to truly understand the historical issues that we've navigated. And I feel like my generation, obviously we were raised on the war on drugs and in it, and we were trained and conditioned against dare, right? Like, this is your brain on drugs. And it's like, bro, like, you categorizing weed and ecstasy and all of these other harmful drugs as the same is crazy, right? Schedule one. But then saying, well, telling a child, right, this is your brain on drugs and frying a fucking egg is fucking insane, right? Like, especially once you done dipped into the psychedelics, once you done had your spiritual journey, your awakening moments, and you're like, yo, this shit is fucking what? But again, education is important. um you know uh Resistance. People have to resist. I know it's uncomfortable. I know it may be uncomfortable having different ideologies than your parents, right? Maybe different ideologies than that you were raised to believe were right. But when you come to your senses and you're able to read, you're able to have personal lived experiences, you're able to cognitively realize that, hey, what you may have been taught over here may have been good for that moment or for your parents or your grandparents, but in this moment I have to grow, I have to evolve, I have to change, I have to do things that are right for me, right? And I think a lot of people are going through that, and it's very uncomfortable, it's very difficult. I've always been a resistor. Like, I always went against my parents, you know what I mean? I followed the instructions, but I was always kind of aware at an early age, and I always questioned things. Um, Even in school, like, I did things in ways that weren't normal. I went about my college career ways that weren't normal. My NFL experience, and then my young professional experience. And so I think people just you have to be confident in who you are, and build your support system, but also be willing to know, man, like, ain't nothing gonna stop you from, what's ordained for you. And I think too many people focus on what everybody else got going on, or what everybody else saying, or what everybody else thinking, or people projecting their fears, their insecurities onto you, which again makes people guarded. And I just never lived in that space, because I know if I put the work in, I could make pretty much anything happen. It's not going to happen overnight. And I think a lot of people want that instant gratification, but as an athlete, you learn that instant gratification isn't reality, right? Like, it's not. Um, if you really want success in a big way, like, it's going to take time, it's going to take trials and tribulations. People gonna hate on you. People gonna call you crazy. People gonna call you whatever. People gonna be watching you and scoping you out, trying to do what you do, copying your shit, won't support, be talking about you behind your back. It's all type of this weirdo shit. Like, and I've been seeing a lot of weirdo shit in the cannabis industry, and that's why I don't like that shit. That's why I really don't be involved, because it's a lot of petty shit. It's a lot of like, everybody trying to gain market share, right? When again, cannabis is like, it's a flower, it's a plant, like anybody could grow it. You know what I mean? So the fact that you trying to be the one that hoards everything over here is like, yo, that's not what weed is about. Like, that has never been about cannabis. Like, anytime I'm with the homies and there's weed involved, everybody eating. You know what I mean? Like, it's weed for everybody. And I'm at the big age that, no, you're not smoking my joint. You're not smoking my blunt. Roll your own. I will give you the weed. I will wrap out. Like, we don't need to be. I'm grown as fuck. You know what I mean? But I feel like we still living in this very like bullshit ass, like, oh, like, no, man. Like, we got trees, baby. We got trees, baby. Crack my shit. But everybody need to be growing, you know what I mean? Like, this shit is a cash crop. Motherfuckers talk about, oh, we starving, we. Sometimes you just gotta smell the weed, bro. Like, people don't. Sometimes you just gotta smell it. I gotta burp my joints. I ain't burped my joints in a minute. Terpenes be. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Like, in my opinion, if you got a house, you should be growing weed. And it's not easy. Like, taking care of it. I did outdoor grow. It's not easy. But one, it's therapeutic, right? It's part of gardening. So if you like to garden, if you're gardening tomatoes, onions, peppers, lettuce and stuff like that, you should definitely try to grow some cannabis. And so I think it's important. I think it's just like, for me, in the experience that I was going through, like, it was very therapeutic to spend time with my cannabis plants and just watch the growth, from seed to harvest. And so for me, like, that even put the battery in my back way more to be like, oh shit, like, you know what I mean? Everybody should have access to this. Everybody should be able to, you know what I mean, have their own space to grow their own cannabis. Everybody should be able to enjoy the benefits of this, even if they want to sell it. But again, you can't sell it, right? You can donate it, which I think bartering is always an amazing thing. And I think we need to leverage bartering a lot more in our community. There's a lot of events going on that are, more low key underground events. And unfortunate, I feel like those events should be able to come more above ground. I think cannabis should be more widely acceptable at farmers markets and things of that nature. So, I think it's important that we continue to be vocal as a community collectively, but also individually in our own, ecosystems and our own vacuums and bubbles. Just raising the awareness, raising the consciousness, having small group meetings, educating your family members, educating your grandmom or your mom. Like, there's so many people dealing with health issues that could benefit from cannabis and small doses of cannabis, and not even, THC, right? Like, you have CBN, CBG, CBD. Like, there's so many different cannabinoids that really can help people, whether you're dealing with struggling to sleep. A lot of people have struggle sleeping, resting their brain, calming their bodies down. People struggle with anxiety. Obviously, cannabis can induce anxiety with some people, but also you have to understand what strains, right? if I have a sativa dominant strain, yeah, my heart starts racing too, especially if I'm not in the mode to be active or be in a very focused mindset, right? So I'm more so already up there. So I'm more like indica dominant, limonene, myrcene, and focusing on terpenes and shit, right? So physical health, pain, is really what I deal with. And so a lot of my cannabinoids or my terpenes are limonene, myrcene, linalool, and those are more kind of sedative body highs, um, which are better for my overall physical health. But again, it's important that people learn what's right for them, right? Learn what dosing is right, right? Like I'm 6'1", 213 pounds, ex NFL player, college athlete. My pain levels and dosage levels are going to be way different than the average person. You know what I mean? I'm a big dude. I've experienced a lot. I've experienced a lot of trauma, from childhood to growing up to being a young black man in America, right? Like, and then football is trauma as well because you're experiencing collisions. So again, my levels are going to be different. My experience is different. My vantage point is different. That's why I say this is my personal experience. Everybody else has to have their own lived experience and learn from, their own experience. So again, that's why I think it's important to study it, share your story. I've never had an overdose experience with cannabis. I've never been somebody to just constantly just smoke. Back in my college days, way more now. I mean, I'm a dad, I'm a husband, so like I consume when I have some spare time. I have different ways of getting cannabis into my system, so I'm not blowing smoke constantly around children, right? So I'm more conscious and aware, and I think that has to maturity and ignorance plays a huge role. Like you shouldn't be hotboxing your bedroom with your toddlers. You know what I mean? Like there's just basic common sense things, right? Like you shouldn't be blowing it down when your kids is not when your kids is around. You know what I mean? So there's stuff like that that I think is, we say common sense, but obviously, everybody goes through their own shit. I come from the hood, so I know what's going on. Like I know what's going on in the suburbs too. Motherfuckers are sneaking lines with their kids right there. Niggas is going to the bathroom, go out to the family function. Motherfuckers just drinking, tilting the bottle. People on pills and shit. So I'm not here to judge. You know what I mean? But be smart, be wise. Do your research, do your due diligence. Again, support your local growers. Support your veterans. I know there's a lot of veterans doing a lot of great work. Um, and don't be afraid to speak up against your politicians or call them, text them, email them to hold them accountable. Because at the end of the day, whether you red, blue, right, left, in the middle, up, down, we all living in the same ecosystem. So, people losing resources, it's going to affect somebody. And it's going to come back on, and so there's more than enough, for people to be doing well, for people to be taken care of, for people to be housed, for people to be fed, for people to have dignity, just in their own humanity, right? And I think that's, cannabis is one of those things. Like I could be tough, but it's like, people deserve humanity. People deserve choice. People deserve to not have to be exploited or extorted or um, constantly, used as a pawn in this game, right? Like, and it's a lot of people, a lot of demographics that are constantly just being used as a pawn in the game. And the only way that can change is when people speak up. And that's average people, that's working class people, that's poor people, that's underserved people, that's people at the bottom of the middle class. Like the middle class is shrinking. You either got it or you don't. You know what I mean? You either got high levels of education, a high income earning job, businesses, investment portfolios, multiple real estate properties. And again, most people won't tell you they don't have it in multiple different LLCs and stuff. So a lot of people don't tell you they business, right? So, a lot of people got to understand a lot of private business is doing a lot of the dirt. And then the federal government and the state governments are contracting out, private entities and their friends and family to do certain bids. So, if you don't pay attention, if you're just okay with working for somebody that's doing the dirt, so you don't have to take full accountability, well, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Um, as I tell the kids, but people got to step up. A closed mouth don't get fed, and a lot of time they'll tell you, "Oh, you're complaining." Going to private school and being in the suburbs and being around white people, you will learn nobody complains more than wealthy people. Nobody complains more than people that got shit already. You know what I mean? Like, your complaints are seen as complaints because they're real issues. You got motherfuckers complaining living in $1 million homes, living in communities with bike paths, parks, full amenities. You know what I mean? Multiple. They got Whole Foods, they got Kroger, they got Fresh Time, they got what else? What else should I be going to? Trader Joe's. You know what I mean? They got banks on every corner. They got child care centers on every corner. They got gyms. They got boutiques. They got restaurants. Whole time, this nigga's in the city complaining about having clean water. Stop crying. Go get a job. Oh, we want parks. We want playgrounds. We want trees. Stop complaining. Go get a job. We do got jobs. We essential workers. We work for y'all. We're the janitors. We're the maids. We're the cooks. We're the cleaners. We're the window cleaners. We're the secretaries. You know what I mean? Like, we're the prisoners. You know what I mean? We're the maintenance and mechanic workers. Like, it's crazy, right? But there's a tide. There's a shift coming, and some people will be on the right side of history. Others won't. We'll keep chugging along. But I want to thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Ohio Cannabis Report. I know I was a little bit winded on today. Shout out to App Girls Cannabis. Y'all can go check App Girls Cannabis out. This is a local Ohio brand at www.appgirlscannabis.com. Tell them Gerald Moore Jr. sent you. They'll hook you up with some love. They got some hats. They got drinks. This is a 50 milligram THC beverage. Just one of my favorite, the black cherry soda. So yeah, definitely go check them out. Show them love. Great group of people over there. Working hard for folks in the cannabis industry and the hemp industry. So peace and love. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, spread love, blow some good weed. Keep it pushing, baby. Peace.